Welcome back to our series on the Gospel of Matthew. Today we're diving into Matthew chapter 10, a pivotal chapter where Jesus sends out his 12 disciples on their first mission. This chapter is all about the cost of discipleship, the authority Jesus gives his followers, and the challenges they will face as they proclaim the message of the kingdom. Let's dive in. Matthew 10 begins with Jesus calling his 12 disciples and giving them authority to drive out impure spirits and heal every disease and sickness. These are the 12 men Jesus specifically chose to carry out his mission: Peter, Andrew, James, John, Philip, Bartholomew, Thomas, Matthew the tax collector, James the son of Alphaeus, Thaddeus, Simon the Zealot, and Judas Iscariot, who would later betray him. Jesus commissions them to go to the lost sheep of Israel and preach that the kingdom of heaven has come near. He also instructs them to perform miraculous acts, heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse those with leprosy, and drive out demons. But notice something important. Jesus tells them do not take any money, extra clothing, or even a staff. Why? Because this mission is a call to complete dependence on God. The disciples are to trust in his provision as they go, relying on the hospitality of those who welcome the message. Jesus is teaching them that being his disciple means relying on God, not on earthly resources. He's training them to trust in his power and provision, not on their own strength. Jesus gives specific instructions for how the disciples should conduct themselves. When they enter a town, they're to look for a worthy person to stay with and bring peace to that house. If the people welcome them, their peace will rest on the home. But if not, they are to shake the dust off their feet as they leave, as a testimony against those who reject the message. Then, Jesus gets real about the challenges they'll face. He tells them, "I am sending you out like sheep among wolves. Therefore, be as shrewd as snakes and as innocent as doves." The mission won't be easy. They'll face opposition, rejection, and even persecution. Jesus warns them that they will be handed over to the local councils, flogged in synagogues, and brought before the governors and kings because of their faith. But when this happens, he reassures them not to worry about what they will say, because the Holy Spirit will speak through them. This is both a sobering and empowering message. Jesus doesn't hide the difficulties that will come with following him, but he also promises that they won't be alone. The call to discipleship is a call to courage. Jesus sends his disciples into challenging situations, but he promises that the Spirit of God will be with them every step of the way. Jesus goes on to address one of the most common emotions the disciples will face: fear. He tells them, "Do not be afraid of those who kill the body but cannot kill the soul. Rather, be afraid of the one who can destroy both soul and body in hell." Jesus is reminding them, and us, that no matter how severe the opposition, we don't need to fear those who can harm us physically. Our ultimate allegiance is to God, who holds the power over our eternal destiny. And then, in a tender moment, Jesus says, "Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground outside your Father's care. And even the very hairs on your head, are they not numbered? So then, don't be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows." This is such a beautiful reminder of God's intimate care for us. Even in the midst of trials and persecution, God sees us, knows us, and values us. Jesus is calling us to trust in God's protection and provision even when we face opposition. Our worth and security are found in him. Next, Jesus stresses the importance of publicly acknowledging him before others. He says, "Whoever acknowledges me before others, I will also acknowledge before my Father in heaven. But whoever disowns me before others, I will disown before my Father in heaven." This is a call to boldness in our faith. Jesus doesn't want secret followers. He wants disciples who are willing to stand up and be counted even when it's hard. He makes it clear that following him may bring division, even within families. He says, "I did not come to bring peace but a sword," meaning that the message of the kingdom will cause division between those who accept it and those who reject it. This is a sobering truth. Following Jesus may cost us relationships, but the cost of discipleship is always worth it in the end. One of the most challenging statements in this chapter is when Jesus says, "Whoever does not take up their cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Whoever finds their life will lose it, and whoever loses their life for my sake will find it." To take up the cross is to be willing to sacrifice everything, our comforts, our plans, even our lives, because Jesus is worth it. The cross was a symbol of death, but for Jesus' followers, it becomes a symbol of true life. Paradoxically, it's in losing our lives for His sake that we truly find them. Jesus calls us to radical self-denial, but He also promises that what we gain, life in Him, is far greater than anything we could lose. Jesus concludes His instructions by speaking about the rewards for those who will welcome His disciples. He says, "Anyone who welcomes you welcomes me, and anyone who welcomes me welcomes the one who sent me." He goes on to say that even something as small as giving a cup of water to one of His disciples will be rewarded. This is such an encouraging promise. Jesus sees even the smallest acts of kindness and hospitality shown towards His followers as He assures us nothing goes unnoticed by God. It's a reminder that when we serve others, we are serving Jesus Himself, and even the smallest acts done in His name will be rewarded. Matthew chapter 10 is all about the cost and the reward of discipleship. Jesus sends out His disciples with authority, but also with the knowledge that following Him will not be easy. Yet, through it all, He reassures them and us that we are not alone. God's presence, provision, and reward are with those who fulfill His mission. In the next episode, we'll explore chapter 11, where John the Baptist sends messengers to ask Jesus an important question, and we'll see how Jesus responds. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to continuing this journey with you.